All right, guys, I believe we are live. Welcome in. It has been such an incredibly long time since we have done one of these live Q&A shows. If this is your first time tuning in, I know we've had a lot of new additions to the channel since our last Q&A video, but if this is the first time that you are joining in, this is a live Q&A session. You guys can ask any questions that you'd like. I will try to get through those questions the best I possibly can. Also, just want to let you guys know we are testing a new system right now. We've got a whole new setup, new cameras, new streaming software, all of that. So hopefully we don't encounter any technical issues. Hopefully this is coming in loud and clear. We are broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and we are broadcasting simultaneously in both vertical and horizontal. So you guys have your pick of which you like the most. So already got a lot of really good questions in, and we are going to dive into those very, very soon and very quickly. First, I want to kind of do a little bit of touching base with everybody. First of all, make sure if you have not yet done so, make sure you are checking out our website. I've just put that up on the screen for you, ropethejackpot.com. That does have our most up-to-date travel information, where we're going to be next, all of that stuff. It does update daily, and we do have a free chat room that you guys can use anytime to ask your questions. So if your question gets missed tonight, ask it in there. It's basically like a Discord, only it is all our people. So check out that website, ropethejackpot.com. Tons of valuable information there. So welcome in, everybody. Wow, it's been such a long time since we've done this. So let's just dive right into it because we've got some really, really awesome questions already lined up. And Simon has the first question, and we will take Simon's question here. Good evening. On dancing drums, why is it that the mini always comes up? Is it predetermined? I always get the mini more than anything else. Very good question, Simon, and thanks for being the first question to come in. Yes, you are going to get the mini more. It is 100% predetermined on that game. Most games that you have to pick to match 3 coins, 3 symbols, whatever, to get a jackpot, that is all predetermined. And that is one of those games. It's mostly the mini because it is weighted in a sense that it is going to give you the mini more often. Obviously, it's very difficult to get that grand. You're not picking wrong. It's all predetermined, and it is more weighted that you're going to get the mini or the minor, those lower options. So really quick, simple answer on that one, but thank you, Simon, for that question. This is a good one and kind of detailed here from Cheryl D. With the old slots fading in the casinos, how do you find a machine to play if everything seems very high in volatility? What and it seems to be better just to extend your bankroll and play for slots. What games are going to be better? So, Cheryl, we actually have a video next week on Thursday that kind of touches on this topic. But the thing is obviously times change, the value of money changes. High volatility is really kind of where it's going, where it's leading to or towards. So you're gonna find a lot more of those higher in volatility games. I don't see the low volatility games coming back anytime soon. How do you find a machine to play? This is gonna really. I don't want to spoil next Thursday's episode too much. We're going to go into a lot more details on it then, or maybe it's next Friday's episode. Sorry if I misspoke, Ethan. But essentially, listen, it's harder today to work with a smaller bankroll than it was even a couple of years ago. Especially with the higher end volatility games, you are going to need a bigger bankroll to kind of, sustain yourself, sustain your time. Uh, it's a tough one. I don't want to give away too many details because again, we do have that episode coming out next Thursday or next Friday. I don't know why I keep saying Thursday, but next Friday. So be sure to tune in for that episode. We have a ton of questions rolling in. A ton of you guys are out there watching, so thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Gonna try to get through as many of these questions as I possibly can. So the next question here, Kelly, this is kind of a cool one. A little bit of back history here. I was wondering if you happen to know which slot was the first to feature perceived progression and which was the first to feature a hold and spin. So very interesting question. So I don't know the exact answers to this one, but I can tell you roughly, relatively where it got popular. So perceived progression was very mildly introduced early 2000s. You had a couple Konami games out there that had mild perceived progression, but really the game that popularized perceived progression and really kind of sparked the whole industry to go towards that was actually 88 Fortunes with that bowl and the coins that fill up in the bowl. That was really the first game that started the whole roll. 88 Fortunes eventually developed into Dancing Drums, which we still have today. And the first hold and spin, I actually want to say that the first hold and spin was actually Lightning Link. I believe Lightning Link came before Dragon Link, and I believe that that was the first one. Don't hold me to that because I'm not 100% sure, but that's just my guess because that's when hold and spins really started getting popular. So question here from Todd. So again, guys, this is an open Q&A. You guys can ask anything you like. It doesn't have to be, it can be slot casino related. It can also be YouTube related or anything like that. Would you prefer fans engage when filming is not in progress? What are the rules of engagement? So very good question, Todd. So obviously, just like anything, YouTube is a business for us. When we're out filming, of course, we are working. We'd like to try to, make sure that those videos are not interrupted. Typically, if somebody comes up while we're filming, we usually have to stop the video. It can kind of be a pain if we have to stop it like midpoint, like if the slot machine is mid-roll or something like that. So common courtesy, if you see the cameras rolling or anything like that, or, a light on or anything, just wait until we're done. Wait until we're done filming. That would kind of just be the more general thing, but I absolutely love when you guys come up and see me. So please do. I encourage you, please do. But yeah, probably wait until filming was not in progress. That'd probably be the more courteous thing to do. All right. And again, guys, we have hundreds of questions coming in now, so I appreciate your patience. I've already lost my place in line. It's been so long since we've done these. I know everyone's really wanting to get their question in, so I'm going to try to find my place back in line here, or maybe I'll just start. We'll start here. Don't Res Brown. Hope I said that correctly. I heard people win more in Vegas. Is that true? The answer is no, it is not true. The only reason why you're seeing a lot more stories come out of Vegas of big wins, Vegas typically has a lot higher limits than anywhere in the country. You can go, most states, except for a very select few, have casinos or have some form of gambling. So there's some form of gambling everywhere, but Vegas has the higher limits, the bigger bank, the bigger, spenders, the bigger jackpots, stuff like that. So you're going to see those go off. Obviously a lot more. Usually those jackpots are going to make the news. If somebody wins a big amount in another state, unless it's the lottery, you're usually not going to hear about it. But the rate of winning is about the same. I mean, if you were to take away the fact that there's millions and millions and millions of people that just go to Vegas to gamble and break it down by, okay, like equalize the playing field there, it would be about the same. I don't think Vegas has any more higher winning than anywhere else. So I hope that helps to answer your question. You just see it a lot more because there's a lot more people. All right, let's see. Here's a really good one. Does Reno really have higher RTP? So if you guys been around the channel long enough, you'll know we'll kind of go on a little tangent on this one. Not too big of a tangent, but a little tangent. RTP is the most misunderstood thing about slot machines. Everybody is focused on RTP because that's the only thing that people really know or they grew up hearing or something like that. RTP plays a minimal role in your individual session. What do I mean by that? So RTP is calculated based typically around 10 million spends to reach its average. And that's not even reaching the exact point. It just has to come within a certain percentile of that. RTP takes into account every single person that will ever play that game for the entire duration that that game is running on the floor. So, what does that mean? Well, if you have a game that is set to, like, let's say 98%, that is 98% return to player for the entire time that that machine is on the floor. You got to remember the slot machine does not care about time. It doesn't care about day. It doesn't care about who's playing, anything like that. The RTP does not determine how you're going to experience your session or what results you're going to get in your individual session. So by focusing on RTP, you're essentially focusing on the wrong things. Can certain places, such as Reno, have a higher RTP? Yes, they could. But you can also lose your ass just as easily there as you would at any other casino. It's mildly dangerous to focus on RTP as an individual slot player because it doesn't do you any good. Even if you were to know what that number is, how is that going to help you in your session? It's not. It's not going to help you in your session. The two terms that you really need to be familiar with. So, obviously, if you want to familiarize yourself with RTP, you of course can. It is a metric. That is a metric that the casino uses, of course. But RTP is essentially the long term play of the machine. Volatility is how the machine reaches that point. And each different game has different levels of volatility that is more important to focus on because the volatility is going to tell you how the ride is going to be to get to that RTP point. So I hope that makes sense. But short, sweet answer to your question: can another place have better RTP? Absolutely, it can. Does it really affect you in the short term? Absolutely not. Would I change my entire vacation plans to just go to a casino that has higher RTP? No, you can win just as much or more at any other casino. So, hope that helps to answer your question. But that is a very misunderstood thing with slots. So, we want to definitely get that out there that stop focusing on the RTP. And I know it's difficult because everybody's heard about RTP. So, it's really the only thing that people want to focus on, but just try not to. Try your best not to. We do have a super chat here, 9.99. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Just wanted to thank you for introducing me to Ultimate Fast Cash. Started with 10 cents and got the bonus and said to myself, what would Cowboy Slots do? Got a triple minor coin. It split into 4. Wow. That is very, very difficult to do. So you got very, very lucky on that. Thank you so much for your super chat and for sharing your story. Really do appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Has anyone asked yet if that's a room in your house behind you? Yes, this is my office in here. So I just freshly remodeled this well, last year, I guess now. Do you ever travel to different states? Are you planning to do so? So, yes, we absolutely are. We actually, if you check our website, which I'll toss that up on the screen one more time, ropethejackpot.com. If you check out our website, we actually have, we just put a new trip on there today. We're going to Tampa. So, Hard Rock Tampa is on there and it's only 2 weeks away. So, this is why I always say it's really important to check our website. That website, again, it does update every single day. That website is going to update with our travel locations faster than I can ever tell you or put it on social media or anything like that, because the second we book it, it shows up on the website. Sometimes it's a couple months out. If it's not on the website, it's not in the plans. So check out that website. Typically we stay on the West Coast though. Just a heads up. $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. All right. Let's grab some more of these questions here. And again, guys, I apologize if I'm pausing or looking down. I'm just going through the questions. We have tons and tons and tons of questions in here. So, it's hard to keep up on. I don't know how WBG does it all the time, keeping up with all those questions. He's a whiz at doing that. Oh, here's a good one. Taterbuck, do you ever play online casinos? If so, which do you play? So this is a very, very good question. We've done some videos on online casinos in the past. And one thing that I want to say is it is critically important when talking about online casinos to make the distinction between a real, legitimate, regulated online casino and a sweepstakes casino or a social casino. Those two things are completely different animals. In the United States, there's very few states. Most of them are on the East Coast. Actually, I don't think there's any west of the Mississippi that have a legitimate online actual casino. Most of them are on the East Coast. So places like Michigan, New Jersey. Also, the places that are legitimate online casinos are very, very limited. You've only got a couple. You've got FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars. And I know Hard Rock also has an online version of a casino. But aside from that, the easiest thing I can recommend. So, really quick to answer your question, have I played at an online casino? The answer is no. We do not have them in Wyoming. Would I be willing to fly out and try a regulated, that's the key word, a regulated online casino? Absolutely, I would. Would I do a social casino? Probably not. Not going to get into that. We don't do that here on this channel. But would I do a actual regulated online casino, something like FanDuel or DraftKings? Absolutely, because those are legal, those are regulated. Obviously, I would have to fly somewhere else to give that a shot. But just be sure with online casinos, make sure that you are making the big, big, big distinction, because there are thousands of websites out there. This is going to be my little PSA to you guys out there. Be careful anytime that you put your information online. The amount of real and regulated casinos, and those are the two big words, real and regulated. That's all you got to remember. Real and regulated. The amount of real and regulated casinos that are out there are very, very few. If you're west of the Mississippi, there are none. So I'm just telling you that. If you're west of the Mississippi, that number is zero right now, as of February 2026. That is zero. So if you're playing online west of the Mississippi, you're playing either sweepstakes, which sweepstakes are legal, but they're not regulated in the same way. They're not technically casinos. They might be legal in your state, but they're not technically casinos. So be careful with those two. There's nothing wrong with certain sweepstakes casinos, but there are also, the problem is there are a lot of fakes out there. There's a lot of fakes out there. Some red flags if you're going to a gambling website and it says that they take crypto or Bitcoin or gift cards or whatever. Don't do that, guys. Please don't do that. That's going to be my PSA for you out there. But just remember, the amount of actual regulated online casinos is very, very few and far between in the United States. If you're in another country, that might be different. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. Hey, we got a $4.99 super sticker here from DePonts. Hey, Brantley, been playing game, the Dragons. What's the difference between Dragon Link and Dragon Cash? Thank you so much for this super sticker. Really appreciate it. So the biggest difference between Dragon Link and Dragon Cash all has to do with if the progressive is linked, and that's it. The games are going to play the exact same. Dragon Cash typically is going to have higher limits. It's going to be the exact same game. Volatility is the same. Settings are all the same. The only thing that's different is one has a linked grand and the other does not have a linked grand. So Dragon Cash, it'll be standalone. Dragon Link, it's linked to other machines either within the bank or somewhere on the casino floor. They share a device, what's called a progressive controller, and all that does is it just shares the progressive data of where the progressive is at and so on with the other devices. So that's the only major difference. But thank you very much for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. And we have Jackpot Beauties in here. Jackpot Beauties, great channel. If you guys have not yet subscribed to Jackpot Beauties, please go over and do so. We actually just did a video together that was a fantastic video. We did some low rolling. It's over there on their channel, and we also have it posted on our channel as well. If you go to our main page and then go to collaborations, which is the very top, you will see that on there. So check that video out, and thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Great people over there. Okay. And again, guys, if you're just joining, I apologize if I'm pausing and looking down. We've got hundreds of questions rolling in here. So again, if I have not answered your question today, please do ask your question on our website, ropethejackpot.com. It is free to sign up on there. So sign up, and then you will get to access our chat room and stuff like that. Brian Bailey says, "Did you know that Lady Luck and Vegas Matt will be there as well on the 19th through the 20th, talking about Tampa, Florida?" Yes, it is actually Lady Luck's birthday party. Her birthday party is on the 19th. Unfortunately, the only flight that I could get on does not arrive until the wee hours of the morning on the 20th. So I'm going to be getting there very early on the 20th, and then it's a red eye flight coming in. So I'm probably going to sleep for a little bit. Then I will be on the casino floor on the 20th. All right, let's see. Oh, very interesting question. What are your thoughts on prediction markets not being considered gambling? Ooh, this is a tough one. So this one kind of gets into man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give my honest opinion here. I've never done a prediction market. I've heard about these. So this is where basically you can bet on random things. I've never done one of those. I know people that have, and the only feedback that I have ever heard from prediction markets is that they're a ton of fun and they're kind of quirky and kind of interesting. I've not looked into them, but it just seems kind of fun. I don't know. Like I would actually kind of be willing to try a prediction market. Um, Probably isn't the smartest or best thing to do, but maybe with something little like a couple bucks or something like that. I don't know a lot about prediction markets. That's not my specialty. But yeah, that's it. That's an interesting question. Have you done it? Let me know down in the comments below if you've done any kind of the prediction markets where you can bet on random things. And also, what have you bet on? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your stories on that. Okay. Drew says, with the new higher threshold for hand pays, do you foresee casinos adjusting RTP percentage to affect hand pay frequency? The answer is absolutely not. Guys, the again, RTP is such a long-term metric. The casinos have no reason to. And also, I will say this, most machines in a casino are not owned by the casino. They are leased. It's what's called a participation game. There are some games out there, some very, very popular games that are in almost every casino that almost everybody plays, that don't have any adjustment at all in their RTP because the manufacturer sets it to 1%, one percentage, and that is it. And there's several of those games out there. The option's not even there to change it. Most newer slot machines are moving towards that model. Most newer slot machines, especially by the big game makers, they are leased. The game maker owns them. The casino is merely a shell. The casino takes a piece of the profits, the game maker gets the rest. So that's really kind of the method that everybody is moving to in a modern day casino. Would they change RTP for the jackpots? No, absolutely not. They would not do that. But great question though. We do have another $10 super sticker. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for these. I appreciate it. Is there a denom sweet spot with the new hand pay limit that gives you decent payouts without breaching the threshold? Honestly, that's a tough one. Well, thank you for your super sticker, by the way. That one is really kind of tough. I wouldn't say there's a sweet spot. If you're wanting to try to stick under $2,000 for a jackpot, I mean, you can look at the pay tables and look at what obviously the most common likely outcome is going to be, not counting for the top line award. Look for, smaller minors, yeah, smaller minis, stuff like that. That can of course be dependent on dependent on denom, but you'd have to go through and look through those denoms. I wouldn't say there's really a sweet spot for that, but very good question. All right. And again, guys, apologize for that, for looking down here, just going through. Man, there are a ton of really, really good questions. Again, there's I don't know how WBG keeps up with it. Bubble craps. Is bubble craps an RNG slot, or is the actual, or is the roll actually random? So, this is the thing. I did a short on this a while back. So, for those of you that are new and for those of you that are not familiar, one of my duties was a field technician. I worked on various slot machines, bubble craps being one of those machines. Everybody always talks about those dice and, oh, they're weighted, they have magnets in them. Guys, I had a box of those dice. I'm the one that installed those dice into the machines. And I'm telling you right now, the roll is random. The game has to play like a normal version of the game. And people ask, they're like, well, why does it always roll seven? Well, seven is the most common outcome on a game of dice. So there's that. The magnets, there's no magnets in the dice or anything like that. There are sensors in the dice that tell the computer where the dice have landed, but the roll is entirely random. That's it. How they control the payouts on that is by controlling what you as the player have the ability to do within that game of craps. So again, a lot of people think, well, the dice are weighted or something like that. That's not true. It is actually random. Very good question on that. 499 super sticker coming in. Thank you so much. Is it more likely to hit a 100x win on a $1 bet or a $100 bet, or does it matter? This one really doesn't. This one really doesn't matter. So in relation to, if you're wanting to look at, your win as a multiplier of your bet, which is always a good idea to do, and you should look at it like that. If you're looking to make, say 100x your bet, you can really do that on any bet level, on any slot machine. The machine really is not going to care what the denom is or anything like that in relation to that aspect. So that really doesn't matter in that point. But also, that is a very good way to look at wins on a slot machine, is rather than looking at it as a multiplier of your bet. It's a very smart way to look at your wins on a slot machine. Oh, another question here. Dragon Link, $5 in the high limit room or outside the high limit room. So for this one, if it is the same game and the same denom and the same bet level, it does not matter. The location of the actual machine does not matter with any slot. It doesn't matter if it's in the high limit room. It doesn't matter if it's on the main floor. They are set based on their denomination. So if you're playing, if you're playing on 10 cent and the bet is $5 and you want to go play a 10 cent denom autumn moon on the main floor and play $5, that's going to play exactly the same as a 10 cent denom autumn moon in the high limit room. Now, if you change it up, if you're like, well, I'm going to play Autumn Moon on the main floor and Happy and Prosperous in the high limit room, well, now it's a different game. So Happy and Prosperous has lower variance than Autumn Moon does. But if you're comparing apples to apples, it's going to be exactly the same. Are we still tipping for hand pays under 2,000? Good question. So here's the thing, guys, which I have a very, very different take on tipping compared to a lot of other people. And the reason why is because I have worked in that field before. I was on the receiving end of the tips. And I'm telling you right now, with tipping, of course, it's always good karma, but most casinos, it is actually a waste. The reason being is because most casinos pool their tips. Some casinos do it with people on shift. Other casinos do it with people off shift. And one of the casinos that I worked at in the past pooled tips with different departments. So, for example, if I had received a $20 tip from a guest, my paycheck might reflect 25 cents of that because it went to so many different people. So honestly, we kind of got to the point where our high rollers that were always tipping, we just told them, we said, you know what, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Tipping's always good karma. Every casino does it differently too. I always ask when I go to a new casino, I always ask them, do you get to keep your own tips? Are they pooled? If they're pooled, especially if they're pooled with other departments, it honestly, it gets very unfair at that point. Um, Hell, ask them for their Venmo. If they're really helping you out and you really, really like that individual, ask them for their Venmo. That's what I do. All right. We got another super sticker here. I'll be at WinStar next week. I will be on the slots. What do you recommend for a $500 budget? So, good question. And thank you very much for that $5 super sticker. So, $500 budget on that one, I would first, you have to ask yourself, how long is that budget going to be good for? Are you taking a vacation there? Are you staying for X amount of days? Are you just going in for a couple hours, going in on your lunch break? There's a lot of elements that you need to consider with any budget, whether it's big or small. With any budget, how are you going to divide that up? Um, if you're going in for the day, for example, you can take that $500, you can split it into $100, do something very small, stick to less than dollar bets if you can find them. And that's another thing. It's getting a lot harder to do better at lower bets these days. There are some good games out there still. We've highlighted a few of them on the channel. One, again, we're going to highlight on our Minimum Bet Monday show coming up this Monday. So if you are a low budget bankroll person, excuse me, be sure to tune into those Monday shows because they are a lot of fun and very educational and have a lot of information on there. But it would really depend with that. How long are you going to stay? And then go from there on that. Let's see. Thoughts on casinos in Lake Tahoe, please. Never been to Lake Tahoe, believe it or not. Never been. So I cannot say I've never been up there. All right. And again, guys, apologize, but there's so many questions coming in, which is awesome. Keep those questions coming in. Oh, here's a good one. With the federal government getting guaranteed 10% of your winnings, are casinos taking out the taxes? I know prior to the change, casinos didn't take taxes out. Uh, Casinos have always had the ability to take taxes out. You have to ask. You have to tell them. They will not voluntarily do it. Some states will, for state regulations, for state taxes. There are some states out there that will. Indiana is one of those. Indiana will take out state tax, but federal tax, the casino will never withhold federal tax until you tell them to. Some casinos, you can tell them to hold 1%. Other casinos, it is set at, say, 30%. But you've always been able to do that. And with the new tax laws that are taking effect, I mean, I would always recommend just taking the taxes out. You don't want to get stuck with that at the end of the year. If you happen to overpay, you get a refund. That's what I would do. Let's see here. 499 super sticker again. Any new alleys coming up this year you're excited for? Let's see. I'm not quite sure what that means. Ask the question again. I'll come back to it. But thank you very much for your super chat. Just want to acknowledge that. Oh, let's see. Mary says not too long ago, I heard an attendant complaining to other patrons because he had not been tipped on a big win. I thought it was unprofessional of him. That is very unprofessional. Um, yeah, don't do that. I mean, here's the thing. Tips should always be your personal comfort level. And also, not only that, but a lot of people don't know that tipping is a big thing in the casinos, and most positions in the casino are tipped. But yeah, that was extremely unprofessional. I wouldn't give them any tip after that. None at all. Let's see. Are cruise ship casinos different than regular ones? Not really, guys. They're really not any different. Everybody likes to think that they are. This is another one that everybody likes to think that they are different. They are not different. The only thing is the casino's biggest advantage over the player next to math is time. If they can keep you in that chair long enough, the longer that you play slots, the more likely you are to lose. What happens when you're on a cruise ship? You're stuck there. You're stuck there for 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. I'm getting ready to go on a cruise myself, which again, information's on the website, ropethejackpot.com. So I'll put that back up one more time as I'm finishing this question here. But getting ready to go on a cruise myself in a couple of weeks, I have other things planned. I'm going to spend a little bit of time in the casino. I'm going to get some filming done for you guys. And then I'm going to go enjoy myself a little vacation. I'm going to go sit on the beach. I'm going to enjoy some drinks. I'm going to sit by the pool and sit on my patio. And I already got a new book. I'm going to take a book with me and I'm going to just sit on my patio and read a book. That's my plan. Don't stay in the casino for too long. Find other things to do. That's the biggest thing with cruises. Very good question. $10 super sticker here. Not really a slot question. I'm playing for a week at Krishada, which I think you would love, by the way, and playing golf all week. You do anything besides gambling when you visit casinos with amenities? Absolutely, I do. There's a lot of places. I will take full advantage of some comped food or spa. I love the spa. Reno and Peppermill in Reno has actually a phenomenal gym. Their gym is fantastic. It's one of the best gyms I've ever seen in a hotel. So I love enjoying that. Their spa is great. So I'm always down for spa and stuff like that. And I will take full advantage of that. But thank you very much for that and good luck to you. What do you think of the buy a bonus feature? So we did a video on buy a bonus quite some time ago. And here's the thing with buy a bonus. You are going to pay a premium cost to get that feature. Every single bonus round has a mathematical average of what that bonus typically pays. We can look at pinball, for example. The game of pinball has a mathematical average of around 84 to 85 credits. 85 credits is the mathematical average. Sometimes it's lower, sometimes it's higher, but all said and done, the math says 85 is the average. If that game were to have a buy a bonus feature, it would probably charge the user 120 credits worth. So if that kind of puts it into perspective, if you buy a feature, you have to almost always get over the average just to get your money back, which there's the house edge in that feature. Very rarely is that going to happen. This is why most times when you buy a bonus, you're going to get less than your bet back. Not a good idea. It's a fun thing to do if maybe you're with a group of people, you want to try it and see if you can get lucky one time. But as for a long-term strategy, no, don't do buy a bonus. All right. Do you travel to the East Coast to gamble? We do not travel to the East Coast to gamble typically, but we are, once again, we will be in Tampa on the 20th this month. So again, website, ropethejackpot.com. Keep up to date on that website. That website is so incredibly, if you haven't been to the website, you're missing out a lot. There's so much information on that website, guys. There is tons of information on that website. Why is the $1 and $2 max bet original pinball slowly disappearing? Very good question. Well, it's kind of going the way of most of the slots now, most of the older slots, as in it's not very popular anymore. It's not very popular. It doesn't perform well. People like the flash. People like the, you know, all the big progressives and the bonuses and all of that. The old three reel games really just are kind of going to the wayside on that, so to speak. Ah, here we go. Back from Jefferson. And thank you again for the super chat. You didn't have to leave a second one. Just another comment would have been good, but I appreciate it. I had a typo last time. Are there any new slots coming out this year that you know of / are excited for, except for Huff and Puff and Buffalo? There actually is, believe it or not, Peppermill and Reno just came out with Light and Wonder just launched the newest version of Piggy Bankin', Piggy and More Bankin'. and also Eureka and More Blastin'. I'm excited to play those. Those have been available on a couple of the Light and Wonder apps recently. So I've had a chance to kind of play them on those apps, but I have not played them in person yet. So I am excited to get out there and see them, and I hope that they're coming to Windover very soon. I've already put a bug in their ear to try to get those games out to Windover because I'm excited to see those. But thank you very much for your question, and again for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see here. Boom. Why is this messing up? What is the cruise ship you will be on? I will be on the, I believe it's the Scarlet Lady. Scarlet Lady. Is tipping the chair against the slot machine to reserve it considered bad casino etiquette? Yes, it is. Very good question. This is a very, very common thing. And I will let you guys in on this. Most people will have somewhat decency to observe that. If you tip your chair up onto a machine, most people are going to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll respect this person, needed to use the restroom or they needed to go to the ATM. We'll respect that. However, if somebody comes along and they do not respect that and they sit down and they start playing their machine, the casino is going to back that person and not you, because technically speaking, the machines are for active players only. So if you have to get up to run to the restroom or run to the ATM or anything like that, smartest thing, try your best. I know it's difficult. Try your best to find an employee, a slot attendant, somebody. Ask them if they wouldn't mind to watch your machine for you while you went and took care of what you needed to take care of. Again, if you tip the chair up, is it bad etiquette? Kind of. It's not the proper way to do things, but the biggest thing to really keep in mind is while most people are courteous enough to observe that for you, it is technically not a legitimate way to save your slot machine. So if somebody wanted to and they wanted to swoop in and take it, they 100% have the right to do that. And if you come back and you get upset, the casino is going to ask you to leave and not them. So just keep that in mind. A lot of people don't know that, but now you do. And that's why you're here. $4.99 super sticker from Valerie. Thank you so much. Do you travel to the casinos in Colorado? I have not. I have not been. The last time I was in Colorado was long before the channel. But Colorado is relatively close to Wyoming, so I think eventually we should be able to get out there. If you guys ever do have casinos that you would like us to visit, have them get in contact with us. Our information is on the website. We have a contact form on our website as well. info@ropethejackpot.com. Have them reach out to us, whether it's the marketing manager, anything like that, and we can plan a trip out there. All right. Building on that last question we had, I've seen people tip the chair up and leave money in the machine while they run to the bathroom. They are trusting. That is a quick way to lose your money. In some casinos, but yeah, there's I would not. Don't do that, guys. Please don't do that. Let's see. Ever think there will be new versions of Dragon Links? So believe it or not, Aristocrat did come out with a new version of Dragon Link Dragon Cash. It is the same game, just in a newer cabinet, and they have updated the software a little bit. And this is the funny part. They actually updated the software mostly to help stop the button slappers. So on the new versions of Dragon Link and Dragon Cash, if you get into the bonus and you start slapping the button, it'll just stop the bonus. It'll just like speed right through the bonus. So it's like you just wasted all that time doing nothing. It'll just, because people used to slap the button and they'd slap it and like try to get the ball to come on the screen. But now if you do that, it just click, stop. So they actually did that to kind of curve the button slappers. So those cabinets are making their way out there. I believe the El Cortez has transitioned some of their Dragon Links to the newer cabinets. I know the graphics are a little bit better. And then it also does have that feature where if you hit the button when it's counting up the hold and spin, it'll, count all the money at once rather than make you sit there and wait for it. So that one is out there now. Those are already out. As for a new title, new game, not that I know of. I wish they would though. I think it'd be kind of fun. I think they kind of missed an opportunity to do that. But yeah, I thought that was fun. I thought that was funny when they came out with that new when they came out with the new cabinet um, to try to for all the button slappers that like to slap their way through Dragon Link. Now it's just if you slap the button, slap the button 3 times and it just ends your bonus. Oh, I got a kick out of that. So somebody's going to be surprised when they get on a new cabinet and try that. All right. I play the Quick Hit Slot app on a daily basis. Does the app software behave the same way as the software on the real games in regards to bonus frequency and RNG? So this is a good question. So the games on any app that you'll play on your phone for fun, obviously they're there for fun and they're there for entertainment. They want to try to be more entertaining and stuff like that for you guys. I wouldn't really say, I mean, some of them are very similar. I will say that. Some of those games they play very, very similar. They're still very difficult to get those bonuses. I would say they're slightly a little bit easier just because the games are for entertainment. They're for entertainment reasons. They're not necessarily for, they're not there for making money. They're there for entertainment reasons. Let's see. Again, guys, apologize for looking down and taking some time. I'm trying to get caught up on some questions here. So I apologize if I've missed some of your questions, but we'll go for a while. We haven't done one of these in a really long time. So I want to make sure we kind of give everybody the chance here. But there are tons and tons and tons of questions. Keep those questions coming in too, guys. I'm just trying to find my place here. I'll just take this one here. Have you ever won a big jackpot on Buffalo Gold? No, I have not. Buffalo Gold is pretty difficult. I've not won a big jackpot on it, but then again, I don't play Buffalo Gold very much. So obviously, if you don't play a game a lot, you're not going to win a whole lot on it if you're never playing it. So there is that. I'm sure if I played it a lot more and if I dumped the same amount of money into that I would any other slot game, I'm pretty sure I would eventually have a good result. But Buffalo Gold is pretty difficult. It is pretty difficult. Very good question, though. Oh, good question. 2 questions here, actually. So is horse racing based machines a lot worse than I'm assuming you're meaning class 3 machines. The last question is what game would be good to play with $1,000 budget and bet size for a better chance? So I'm going to take the first part of the question here. So the machines that you're talking about are HHR games. The thing with HHR games, they're not a lot worse than class 3 machines. It's a different form of randomness, but it's actually really interesting how those devices really work. So obviously when you push the button, it's placing horses on a historically run horse race, and depending on those results is the prize that you get. What a lot of people don't know, and again, this is if you want to talk about RTP, going back to our earlier conversation about RTP, technically, if you really want to be technical, because RTP accounts for all players, HHR games have 100% RTP. How is that possible? Well, I'll tell you how it's possible, because every single dime that goes into those machines goes into a pot that is shared with the players. The locations that have HHR machines, they only get they only get a piece of the profit when you get a jackpot. So it's one of the very few times, if you're at an HHR place, that the casino wants you to win, because the only time they get a portion back is when you hit a jackpot. And sometimes those prizes are actually really, really, really high. So, I mean, I've seen people win $300,000 on like 25-cent bet with HHR. So I wouldn't say that they're worse by any means. They're just a different form of gambling. But they are not a slot machine, so that's also really important to note. They're an HHR machine. What would be a good game to play with $1,000 budget and bet size for the better chance? $1,000 budget again. I'll reference back to my my answer on the previous question with this, and that's going to be, well, how long are you going to plan to be there for? I mean, sky's the limit on what games that you're going to pick, but how long you're going to be there for is going to determine your actual budget or your bankroll size or your I can't talk today. Bet size, your bet size, how long you're going to be there for. Do casinos ever post their RTP, or is that a closely guarded secret? Can a player ever find out the RTP on a machine? So most casinos are not going to post the RTP of slot machines. This also gets confusing too. And again, why don't they do that? Because it does not matter to you, the player. All it's going to do is confuse you. I can guarantee you right now, 99% of people could not tell me what RTP actually does. It is the most misunderstood thing about slot machines. It does not affect your individual session. All it's going to do is confuse players, and then players are going to get upset thinking, well, this machine says 99%, so I should get 99 cents for every dollar back, and that's not how that works. So casinos are not going to post it, nor are they required to post it. Some states will have general statistics on machines that will have an average of basically all machines in a certain bracket or a certain denom broken down. That is not the individual setting of the machines, though. Just keep that in mind. I've seen a lot of people that they're like, well, I looked at the Nevada gaming control board and it says that, all $25 machines are 98%. That is not what that number means, guys. That's just an average of all the machines that it's accounting for. It doesn't tell you what the individual machines are set at, nor is that the setting. So, no, it's not. Is it a closely guarded secret? Within the industry, typically, yes, because it is more. So, again, it's a competition thing. So this really kind of gets into the weeds on this. Some places treat it like it's a really big secret. Other places don't, but they're not going to tell you, the player, what those individual RTPs are. So again, it kind of gets into the weeds on that. But again, I can't stress enough that RTP does not matter to your individual session. So please don't focus on that. All right. And again, guys, apologize for the pause. Just looking through questions. We got a ton of questions. What are your top 3 recommended slots to play for fun and jackpot potential? There's a lot of newer slot machines that have been coming out recently that have some pretty good potential. Obviously, if you watch the channel long enough, you know my top 3. Well, one of my top 3 is definitely going to be Big Hot Flaming Pots. That game, I've done phenomenal on that game. The original version, done phenomenal on it, both on low limit and on high limit. It's an overall well-rounded, great game for both bankrolls. The other one's this new Leprechaun game, which we featured on a Minimum Bet Monday show a couple of weeks ago. We have another episode coming out on that one on next Tuesday, or this next upcoming Tuesday, which that was phenomenal. We ended up playing it at max bet, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I was shocked. I was very, very shocked, and I think you'll be shocked as well. So don't miss out. make sure that you are subscribed and come back on Tuesday to view that episode because it's crazy. So I would say that one would be another one. The other one, I'm still very partial to Spooky Link. I think they did a phenomenal job with Spooky Link. I think if you play it at a good bet level that's good for your bankroll, I think you can do pretty well on it. Um, Obviously, it's got a lot of variance to the game, but I really, really like what they've done with Spooky Link. It's fun, has good potential. I like it. So those will be my top three. Thank you for the question. Appreciate it. $5 super sticker here. How does a $96,000 progressive on a three real wild cherry $5 denom 3 credit affect the volatility? Thank you. So on this one, so a progressive on a wild cherry machine. So volatility. So again, volatility is how the game gets to that end result point. And it's how the game is designed from the base level. Wild cherry, whether it has a progressive or not, the volatility is going to be the same. So it's not going to have any difference in the volatility. But you also do have to remember, too, there's a couple other things that go with this. Again, volatility is not, it is, but it isn't as cut and dry as people think it is. One thing about volatility is it always goes in tandem with your bankroll. Anything can feel very, very volatile if you have a small bankroll. I'll give you a great example. Hot Pots. I just mentioned Hot Pots is one of my favorite games. If you go up to a Hot Pots game with 20 bucks and you put it in and you put it on, say, 10-cent denom rather than pennies, and you play $5 spins, you're not going to get very many spins out of it. And you're going to think that it's the worst game in the world because you didn't get anything. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, this game is so volatile. It's because you're not playing it at the right amount with your bankroll. Again, volatility goes in tandem with your bankroll. Anything can feel very high in volatility if you have a very, very small bankroll. As for the design of the games, though, the design of the game, the volatility is really not going to be any different just because it has a progressive on it. Sometimes casinos can add their own progressives on top of those games. It doesn't change the design of the game, though. So very good question, and thank you again for that super sticker. Also, guys, really quick before we move on, since we do have over 700 of you guys watching right now on various different platforms, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. It is 100% free to do. Take a moment if you're out there watching, hit that subscribe button, and also get your friends to do it as well. We are very, very close to 500,000 subscribers. I've been trying to think of some cool ideas to do for you guys. I want to do something to give something back to you guys as the subscribers, do something really fun. Our channel just turned 4 years old, so we're not even we're averaging over 100,000 new subscribers a year, which is fantastic. It's phenomenal. But to reach that 500,000 point would be really incredible. And I want to do something fun for you guys. So make sure that you are subscribed, get your friends to subscribe, and also hit that like button and share this video. I would really appreciate it. $5 super sticker. Not all heroes wear capes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Another $10 super chat here. Have you tried Dragon Links? Have you tried on Dragon Links and tried the 5-3 method where you bet the lowest denom on all of those denoms, 5 spins each on the lowest amount and do 3 times and win the bonus 3. So here's the thing. When it comes to, and thank you very much for your question and for your super chat. When it comes to amount of spins on a machine, here's the thing. I want you guys to really, really hear me when I say this. If you're going to do an amount of spins, do it based on preserving your bankroll. Do not do it to try to feel out a machine or to find the hot denom or to find the hot machine. I'm going to give you the straight up honest answer here because I've heard this from a lot of people where they're like, well, if I spin it 5 times and it doesn't give me anything, I'm going to go away. And that's fine to do if you're on if you're using that for bankroll strategy, that's fine to do. But if you're doing that because you're checking to see if the machine is, in a pay cycle or not, I'm going to be 100% just blunt and honest with you. The machine does not give a shit. It does not care. That is not how slot machines work. So if you're trying to, spin a number X number of times to try to see if it's hot or see if it's going to pay, it's not how machines work. But I mean, hey, to each their own. Some people like doing that. But use it for bankroll, not for testing if a machine is hot. There's not a such a thing as a hot machine. It can feel like it sometimes, but that is also a myth. But thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Brian. 4 years. Can you believe it? 4 years. We've been here for 4 years doing this, and it's incredible. As I sit here now, and we've got the new camera and new software and all this equipment that we're using. Go back through the library and go to the very, 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 very first live stream that we ever did, and it was wildly different from this one. I'll tell you that. Wildly different. So thank you very much for sticking around with us for 4 years. Here we go. Utterly. When playing games like Dragon Link or Lightning Link and you see the ball in the last hole in the bonus, what is the probability that you're going to get the grand? It's still very, 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 very difficult to do. Um, I would say you might have a little bit better of a chance, though. I will say that you might have a better, yeah, I would even say, yeah, you probably definitely have a better chance, but chance is the key word there. If you see something, on Dragon Link or Lightning Link and you happen to get down to the last square and there is a ball flying around there, you've got a lot better of a chance than if you didn't see one. But still very, very difficult to do. I wouldn't get too excited. 499 super sticker here with class 2 bingo slots. Do different games still affect volatility? So Huff and Puff, harder, and etc. So every single game is going to have its own volatility, whether it's now bingo obviously could be different from, say, class 3 in terms of volatility, because again, volatility is how the game is designed. Obviously those games are designed a little bit differently. But yeah, it's yeah, yes and no on that. Not too I don't work on designing bingo slots, that's for sure, but well, they're not technically slots. Let's see. Are newer machines more volatile than older ones, or does it just feel that way? SMAX slots, you are 100% correct on that. It's not that it doesn't, it's not that it just feels that way. Volatility is increasing. It's increasing every single year. And in fact, if you guys, I know we had one viewer in here that said that they've been with the channel for 4 years. It's been a long time since I've said this. I think I've said this like probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Is that information is always changing, and the gaming industry changes very, very, very quickly. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things that, I mean, we would give tips 4 years ago that are not relevant today. That's how quickly it's changing. Um, Machines are getting more volatile. That's not going to slow down anytime sooner. Um, you're going to need a bigger bankroll in today's casinos. That's just the reality of it. If you don't have a bigger bankroll, consider saving up your money and go on less trips. Machines are getting more volatile. Minimum bets are going up. The average bankroll that people bring with them to the casino is higher today than it was even 3 or 4 years ago, much less 10 or 20 years ago. It is much higher today. So, all things that you have to account for, and that's all things that game makers are accounting for. So, game makers are adjusting faster than we as the players are adjusting. So, yes, newer machines are going to be more volatile than the older ones. That's just the way things are going today. That is how machines are being made, and that's the way it is. No, nobody likes a lot of change. There's very few people out there that are big fans of change, especially when it comes to money and how things play. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, let's see. Was very nice meeting you at Wild Horse Pass in Chandler. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. We will probably again. I know I've said this 100 million times on this show already, but please do keep an eye on our website, guys, because it is changing all the time. And I'm telling you right now, Wild Horse Pass will probably be coming back up on the website very, very soon, probably for March. So keep an eye out on that website if you're down in Arizona. $2 super sticker is Lucky Larry's Lobster Mania, a good game to play. I have not played that game in forever, but yes, it's a pretty good game. It's a lot of fun. It has some good potential. So I would say it's pretty good. Appreciate that super sticker. And we got another one here. I've watched your videos for the last 2 months. While full slots don't matter, what about empty slots that might hit quicker again? So um, are we talking about like perceived progression? Perceived progression doesn't matter at all. Or if you're talking about like amount of money that goes in, that doesn't matter at all. Um, they're not more likely to hit, regardless of what you're referencing. They're not more likely to hit on that one. Um, so I appreciate the super sticker and super chat though. Thank you so much. And Richard says, "Can you believe how that has exploded in 4 years? It's been a wild, crazy, crazy ride, guys. If you've been around the channel long enough, you know it's getting busier by the day, which is good. Do casinos have policies prohibiting people from playing two or three slots at the same time? Most casinos do. Most casinos actually do have policies against this. Whether it's enforced or not is, of course, on them. But most casinos, yes, that is pretty standard practice policy. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Here I'll take a quick second here. Um, Listen, guys, especially if you're new here or if you're watching this for the first time, I'll just tell you this. I'm not selling anything to you guys. I don't make money on selling books or courses or classes or anything like that. The super chats and super stickers are great, but they're not needed. They're not necessary. I appreciate those. But you guys don't have to do that. I'm very grateful for that. But listen, guys, I just want to see you guys be successful at the casino and have a better time at the casino. That's it. When I put videos out there showcasing big wins, big budgets, stuff like that, um, I do my best to remind you guys, I don't want you to go out and replicate that. Most people don't have that big of a bankroll to spend. I'm aware of that, and I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is just sit at home, relax, and watch the video and enjoy. Share it with your friends and family, share in the wins, share in the experience. That's it. Have fun. Life is too short. Um, I'm here to tell you exactly how it is, and this is how the industry works. It's not as complicated or in depth as people think that it is, and it should not be intimidating or scary for you guys. If you're whether you're new to slots or whether you're experienced to slots, if you approach the casino with a different breath of fresh air, you're going to have a better time in the casino. And that's the whole point of this channel, is just making sure that you guys have a better time in the casino. And also learning some stuff while you're along for the ride. So I appreciate comments like that, guys. Thank you. Makes my day. All right. Again, we have so many questions coming in. It's difficult. I'm trying to pick some new questions we haven't answered before. It's been a long time since we've done this, so we might go a little bit longer tonight. We're already over an hour. I know we typically all broadcast for an hour, but man, we're cooking here. So let's keep on keeping on. I'm having fun doing this. Maybe we'll have to do this again. Actually, let me know in the comments right now if you would like us to do this more frequently. I'd appreciate that. I always like the feedback, guys. So give me your feedback. Let's see. What is the best slash fun high volatility game to play on a low budget, like a $200 bankroll? So, if you've got a $200 bankroll, if you've got a smaller bankroll and you want to try something that is higher in volatility but still has a good fun factor to it, I'm going to circle back to Spooky Link on that one. Also, Buffalo Link is also a pretty good one. And again, we're talking just high volatility games here. Buffalo Link is a good one. Um, Phoenix Link can be you can have good luck with that game. It's just it's pretty difficult. Some people have great luck with it though. Um, so I'd stick around with those, but yeah, I'm still sticking with Spooky Link. I really like Spooky Link on that one. Let's see. And Simon says, I remember my first hand pay based off of your build up method. Life changing is the only way to describe it. Well, thank you very much, Simon. It's good to know that we had some positive effect out there. So I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. And let's see, my little chat window is sticking. I think it's overwhelmed by all the comments and questions coming in. Drew says, I had the lucky chance to meet you in Wendover back in October, and it was the highlight of my trip. Thank you for being genuine and letting me tag along in the high limit room. You're very welcome. I love when you guys come up and see me. It makes my trip. I've met a lot of you guys. It's been fun. It's been exciting. I love sitting and chatting with you guys. And there's sometimes, especially in Wendover, we typically go to Wendover on Tuesdays. That schedule is always pre-posted. We only have one more trip coming up this month because we do have the cruise. So next Tuesday will be the last trip for February to Wendover, unless I can squeeze something in before then, in which case watch the website. Um, but come out and see us. I'm there on Tuesdays. Tuesdays in the morning. So I'm usually there around 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. You'll find me on the floor. Come up and say hi. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work. Definitely learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh, here's a cool one. What are your thoughts on Blueberry machines? So, Blueberry, interesting game maker. We haven't had a lot of Blueberry games come through Nevada until recently. They just started rolling out. Actually, Montego Bay in Wendover just got some, and we are putting that Sharks Lock on our Minimum Bet Monday show. Sorry to spoil it, but Sharks Lock is going to be the Minimum Bet Monday show. Had a lot of fun with it. Dynamics were good. I kind of liked the cabinet, which is what the physical part of the machine is. I really liked their designs. Their games were pretty fun. They were a lot of fun. All right. Jessica says, in your opinion, do you think the comps slash benefits are better on cruise ship casinos or land casinos? This is a really good question. And you know what? I'm going to say that it really has a lot to do with your personal preference. So, if you're somebody that you like to take a lot of tropical vacations, or if you like cruises or anything like that, obviously, you gamble a lot on cruise ships. Your benefits are going to be cruise benefits. So, free cruises in the future, cabin upgrades, stuff like that, because everything else on a cruise is already included. Um, if you gamble at land-based casinos, maybe cruises aren't your thing, or you like to stay local. Or, if you're a road trip kind of person, maybe you enjoy the benefits at land-based casinos. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. Um, I would say kind of a mix, and sometimes you can actually get lucky. There's a lot of casinos out there, land-based casinos, that some of their benefits are cruises, and they do partner with different cruise lines as well. Cruises rely a lot on casino patrons. Most cruises do. So if you have, and here's another thing for you guys. I'll give you kind of a little inside tip here. If you have a really good offer from a casino, and you want to go on a cruise, you can pretty much take that email or that flyer or that letter from your host, and you can contact just about any cruise line you want and say, "Hey, this is my offer. Can you match it?" Most times they will. You can almost get a free cruise with a good offer, most cruise lines, without even having to do anything special for it. So if you have a good offer from a casino, always check with cruise lines. Give them your offer. Doesn't really matter which cruise line it is, except for Disney. Disney doesn't have cruises, or Disney doesn't have casinos on their ships. But most cruise lines that have casinos, they will absolutely work with you if you have a good offer. So sometimes you can even, if you're smart enough, you can take your offer and you can kind of twist it around a little bit. And Cruising with Thomas says I got on the Vegas Mac cruise for a comp using my Royal Caribbean offers, and that was on Virgin. So yeah, you can interchange those. Never hurts to ask, right? Just ask. Just call them and ask. Most of them will say yes. We all know that you love slots. Do you ever play table games at the casino, and which do you like the best? Actually, I do play table games at the casino. Not a lot, but sometimes I will. Sometimes I will go play some table games, usually to sit down and slow my roll a little bit and have a drink and just enjoy. My favorite games, I do like playing Baccarat. I do a little more. My Baccarat strategy is a little bit different. It's not just it's not just like player banker all the time. I do a lot of different bets on Baccarat. I usually have a lot of chips out there on the board, so my Baccarat strategy is a little bit different. I love roulette. Roulette's always just a fun game. I mean, that's where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting at my roulette table here at my house. I like roulette. It's fun. The only game that I really don't like is blackjack. And the only reason why I don't like it is because like you bet $10, you get a blackjack. What is the absolute best that you can possibly win? $15. That makes no sense to me. I like to play something that I can earn more money on. Blackjack is usually just one for one, so I don't like it. Um, I do like three card poker. I like Texas Hold'em. Very, very, very rarely, but it does happen. It happened a couple of Vegas trips ago. You might even see me in the poker room of one of the casinos. Sometimes I will sit down and play just traditional poker. Very rare, though, that I do that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do you like Bull Blitz? I do like Bull Blitz. I think Bull Blitz is a really fun, really interesting game. Um, it's unique. It's different. I like Bull Blitz. I do. That's about all I can say about it. Is it's unique. It's different. I like it. What do you think of the craps and roulette machines? I actually do. Like we kind of talked about the craps machines a little bit earlier, like the bubble craps machines. I'm not a huge fan of the bubble craps, like playing them as a player. I do like the roulette machines though. I believe my favorite roulette machine is made by, I think it's Incredible Technologies makes it. It's a great little machine. I like to sit there and play that sometimes too. Done pretty good on that. Let's see. Double Blazing Sevens. Is this an unspoken advantage play game? I recently heard that the lower progressive usually hits around 1200, and so far I noticed that that has been true. Is this something you know about? So here's the thing. This is a good question. It is not an advantage play game. It's a lot like it is a very it's a they're sisters, but they're not twins, and that would be Blazing Sevens and Cherry's Jubilee. So Blazing Sevens is probably the closest you can get to Cherry's Jubilee, but again, it's not the same. Same thing goes with those progressives. It's it's not an advantage play game. It's just math. It's just how the math works out. It usually typically hits, you know, they don't get that high because they hit so frequently. That's the problem with them. So, well, not really a problem, but so it's not really advantage play. Because it can keep going and going and going, or you can hit it when it's freshly reset. They just hit more frequently. So that's a little bit about Blazing Sevens. Let's see. Lucky Jewels slots, another great channel. Check out Lucky Jewels. One of our moderators, also a local from Utah. Run into them a lot over in Wendover. Have you had a chance to play the new Huff and Puff? We've had enough. I played it. So here's the thing. Um, I actually got to play this game when it was still in the showroom of Light and Wonder's office. So when it was still in the Light and Wonder showroom, I had a chance to sit down and play it before any casino had it yet. Um, I had fun with it. It was unique. I haven't played it on the floor of an actual casino since playing it in the showroom. I played it a little bit in the showroom and I was like, this is fun. Like I kind of liked the dynamics of it and everything. It seemed cool, but I don't know. It just didn't stick with me. I was just kind of like, I think I'm kind of like everybody else where I'm just kind of sick and tired of seeing the Huff and Puffs. So I'm just like, yeah, another Huff and Puff. We'll see, 30 more of them come out. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What's your favorite game maker? So I would have to say, which this one is kind of ever evolving. I mean, game makers are companies, they're big corporations. They change all the time. There's always something new happening and going on. But right now, I would actually say Light and Wonder is the top dog in the market, easily. They're coming out with some fantastic games. They're doing a great job, even doing some remakes on stuff that they've been doing incredible. So that's who I would say. 4.99 super sticker of the spooky links. Which version do you like that offers the best payout? Hands down, you know what? Very rarely, guys, do I have an answer right off the bat for a question like this. The best version of Spooky Link, by far, hands down, no contest, has got to be Yo Yeti. Yo Yeti, 100% has got to be Yo Yeti. I love the feature on Yo Yeti. Great question though. Thank you for that. And we got another one here, $10 from Cheryl Lee. Hey Brantley, thank you for all your wisdom. I've learned so much in 3 years of watching. Thank you for being here for 3 years. And I do hear you in my head when I'm about to do something silly like chasing New Wizard of Oz. Yes or no? I have not gotten a chance to play the new Wizard of Oz machine. I've seen it. I've seen it played, and I'm not a huge fan of it just from what I've seen, but I also haven't sat down to really dive deep into it yet. Maybe I'll like it or not. I don't know. I haven't seen it very many places. I think the El Cortez might have it. I'm not sure. Um, but I'll check it out. I will put that on my list. So thank you very much for the question. And I know we got some people in here that have played it already saying it's atrociously bad. A lot of noise for nothing. That's not good to hear. That's not good to hear. All right. What do you think the best games on the floor right now are for the small bet guys? So I would say right now, and again, I have to preface with the fact of this is always changing information because they're coming out with new slot machines left and right every single day. So what we say in this show might not even be the same answer in a couple of weeks or a couple months, whatever. I would still think that original traditional hot pots has still got to be king of the castle on that one. Raise 'em up Leprechaun by Sega Sammy, definitely that one, 100% that one. Um, see some newer games right now that are on the floor. Best for low limits. Man, Bomberman would probably be a good one. That one's relatively new. Um, Red Rail Fortunes, that one would probably be good. And then of course you still have some classics out there. like your 88 fortunes, your dancing drums, stuff like that. Those are a little bit harder, but yeah. All right. What's the worst version of Buffalo? So, I mean, again, everybody's going to have their own personal opinion. So, this is just my personal opinion on what I think the worst version of Buffalo is. Um, it's got to be a mix. I mean, man, this is hard. There's more Buffalo versions than there are Huff and Puff versions. So, this one is a challenging question. But I would have to say one of the worst would probably be Buffalo Gold Revolution. I think that one would probably be the worst. Do you like the NFL slot game? I have not had a chance to play it, but I have seen it played, and man, they really changed the game on it. They actually made it really, really cool. I like the way that the new NFL slot looks and plays. I'm excited to try it. That's the one thing about being so remote and so far out there living in Wyoming is I don't get to get to the casinos right away to see the new games. Um, and sometimes Wendover can be a little slow to get the new games in. I know most of the NFL slots are down in Vegas. I haven't had a chance to play them, but I would want to check them out. I think they look pretty cool. They look pretty cool. Oh yeah, the White Buffalo one is also that one's also pretty bad. That one is also pretty bad. See, can you answer this question? Can a player that gets up and leave a machine locked down so the machine, so you can't put money into it to play? If they, so some casinos do have that as a perk for their higher limit players. I've seen a couple casinos do this where if you're a high limit player, if you're a high tier level, high card player, some casinos will do this for you where they will lock your machine down for you so that they can get up and go do something else. Usually there is typically a time limit or some kind of courtesy that goes along with that. But yes, that is a thing. Not at every casino, but there are some casinos out there that do have that. All right. Let's do this. We'll keep on rolling for a little bit. Again, if you guys are just now joining us, keep those questions rolling in here. You can ask about anything. You can ask about slots, casino operations, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Whatever is on your mind, ask away. I will try to catch up to them best I possibly can. We'll just keep going. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So. All right, question here from Mike. Do you think licensed games like NFL, Crazy Rich Asians, I can't talk, and other royalty paid machines should be avoided due to higher hold and return percentage to the license? So typically that is a very good question. So typically with these machines, they're going to be a little bit rougher of a ride and they're going to be a little bit more difficult. One of the other things too is a lot of the big royalty machines typically have a some kind of a big shared progressive or a wide area progressive attached to them, which naturally is going to make the game a lot harder. Yes, it is true. They do have a lower hold. They do have to pay a royalty back. That part is true. Can you still win on them? Absolutely, you can. Um, I'm not a bi- I've never been a big fan of the licensed theme games myself. The NFL game looks pretty cool just because they've redone it a little bit. But I'm not a fan. Would I avoid them? Do I avoid them? I would say yes. I mean, I do just that's just me personally. Some people have done well on it. But would I avoid it? Yes, a little bit. Hope that makes sense. Hmm. Why did the jackpot threshold go from 1200 to 2000? It was very, very long overdue. Inflation. Inflation is the big keyword there. But yes, it was very long. They should have raised it to 2000 many, 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 many years ago. It should be at like 5000 by this point. Let's see. Did the puppy ever get trained? How's that going? Yes, he's a very, very good dog. He is. He was down here earlier, trying to be at my feet, and then he realized I was busy and went upstairs. So he's good. Have I ever been to Potawatomi Casino in Wisconsin? I have not. I have not been up there. Usually, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. Typically, when I go to travel somewhere to a casino, I live in Wyoming. I live in a very, very, very cold place in the country. Although it hasn't been cold recently. It was in the 50s today, which is phenomenal and weird for Wyoming in February. But I live in a very cold environment. Usually, when I go to casinos, I will purposefully prioritize casinos that are in warm climate, tropical weather. Vegas, Florida, stuff like that. California. If the casino is in a place that is as cold as my home, it's probably going to have to wait until summer. Jennifer says, I've enjoyed watching you do collabs with other slot influencers. Well, thank you very much. Are you okay with them calling you Cowboy? I think they should call you Brantley. Cowboy is fine. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. We're all friends. A lot of these, I will say this, guys. The influencer world in slots is very, very small. We all talk. Um, we all help each other out. Everybody's really, really sweet. They're really, really nice. And this is it's a great community to be a part of. Um, I enjoy it. $5 super chat here. Would you say it's better to play slots on a lower denom higher bet or lower bet higher denom? Does either change your chance of a progressive? So very, very good question. In our Dragon Link video, the video about the empty spot on the hold and spin, I went into detail on this exact same question. It is very game specific. Some games it is better to play a lower bet multiplier and a higher denom. Other games, it's better to play a lower denom and a higher bet multiplier. It really, really is game specific on that. Not all slots are created equal, so check those game rules and just see. Now, if it says odds of winning grand or major are proportionate, then you're fine. But either way, stick within your budget, stick within your bankroll. That's going to be the most important thing to do. But check those game rules. Check those game rules because they are going to be different. Let's see. All right. I keep losing my spot in all these comments. It's crazy. Have you physically held the dice from bubble craps and can verify the outcome is random? Earlier in the stream, I mentioned I used to work on those machines. I actually had a box of those dice in my truck. Yes, they're random, guys. They're not weighted. They have a sensor on them for, to help the machine understand when the dice lands. But yeah, the dice bouncing are random. They're not weighted or predetermined. All right. Let's see. You and Jackpot Beauty was cool. Thank you so much. Another great, great channel. Jackpot Beauties is a wonderful channel. Great people. Go subscribe to them because they're awesome. Yeah, just subscribe to everybody. Just go through and subscribe to everybody. That's help out everybody. Why not? If you like a channel, just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. Oh, this is an interesting question. How do they get the voices for the characters on the slot games? Do they have voice actors that do the voices? Thanks. Yes, they do. They do have voice actors. In fact, Lady Luck was a voice actor for the new Chili Mania respin. She's the Chili Mama character. She just did a great celebration for her 1 million on Facebook. So big congratulations to her. She had a great event. They played that game and it was a whole lot of fun. So, yes, she did the voice on that game. Fellow Wyomingite, I live in Wyoming also. The weather has been phenomenal. It was crazy. I was wearing a t shirt today. It was awesome. I almost took the motorcycle out today. Let's see. Mhm. Oh, let's see. Do you think Flaming Hot Pots will pump out more versions of that game, like Huff and Puff or Buffalo series of the game. You know what? I hope that they do. And the last time that I had a chance to talk with people over at Light and Wonder, I was trying to convince them to put that. So the feature in Hot Pots, where you collect the bao buns, and then the bao buns, once you fill a column, it frees up the real estate, and you get to collect more bao buns. That feature does have a name that is called a stack and hit. It's stack and hit is trademarked by Light and Wonder, but it does have a name. And the last time I was at Light and Wonder's office, I tried my hardest to convince them to put that feature in other games because it's a phenomenal feature. And if they already have it trademarked, why not put it in other games? So maybe they're working on it. I don't know, but I would like to see some different skins of that game. I think it'd be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. There is a sushi one on. I know it's on some of the apps, but I have not seen it in an actual casino. I'm not sure. I think it might be an app specific version. Maybe they're testing it out to see how well it performs, if people really like it. And if people do like it, maybe they'll make it into an actual machine. I hope they do. I think it'd be fun. I've played that one a couple times on the app before. Will you ever design a slot machine as cowboy slots? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Who knows what the future holds. I mean, I didn't think I would be here 4 years ago, and here I am. So who knows? There might be one in the future. We never know, right? Does free play affect the outcome of the game? The answer to that is no. Free play does not affect the outcome of the game on any slot machine. So you don't have to worry about that. You can still win on free play. You can still lose on free play. But yeah, free play does not affect the outcome of slot machines. And I know that somebody else had a similar question about that one. So two birds, one stone. Lanterns, hot pots versus original hot pots. Same or one harder? The lantern version is harder than the original version of hot pots, but it's not drastic. Might feel like it, but really mathematically, it's not drastic. I think the mathematicians did a great job when they designed super hot flaming pots, which is the one with the lanterns on it. It is difficult to get those lanterns, but the lantern bonus is very, very rewarding. And the frequency of getting the pots is relatively the same. It's a little bit harder to get the natural pots to trigger and close. But honestly, they did a great job. Technically speaking, the lantern one feels a little bit more rough. It feels a little bit more volatile, a little bit harder. But ultimately, ideally, I like them both. I think they're both great machines. When are you coming to a California casino? I'm actually working on it. So again, stay tuned. Which I'm going to. It's been a while, so I'll put this back up here. Our website, ropethejackpot.com. Make sure you are checking that website regularly. It does update every single day. Every day that updates with new locations. Um, it has our Windover schedule. It has the information for where we're going to be next. If we're gonna be somewhere, it'll update on that website before I even get a chance to tell you guys about it on any video or anything like that. So always check the website. And again, tons of resources on there, guys. There is a free to use chat room that even breaks it down by state. So you can talk to other people in your state, or if you're traveling, say you want to go to the East Coast and you've never been, go to whatever state on that chat forum and just say, hey, I'm looking for this game, or what's the best casino to stay at here, and somebody that's local will respond to you. All of that is free and available to use. It's a fantastic website, so make sure that you check it out. Let's see. And yes, we are working on a trip to California here very, very soon. All right. Let's see. When will you play Ainsworth again? So, I mean, the problem is a lot of the casinos that I'm traveling to recently just haven't had them. They're great games. There's nothing wrong with Ainsworth games, but they're not very common as in a lot of the casinos that we go to now. So, um, there's that. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't play them. They're great games, but I just haven't had the chance to play them anytime recently. Let's see. Adorn for me. Hey, Brantley, do you think game makers are listening when we ask for more frequent bonuses, but maybe not as big of bonuses? Very good question. So, game makers do take into account player feedback. There's several game makers out there. Some of them actually have offices in Vegas where they will go out and they will recruit random gamblers off the street from a casino to come to their headquarters and sit in kind of like a testing lab and play on a game that has not come out yet and then get their feedback on it. So that's pretty much on par with every game that comes out. And yes, they do a lot of market research. Um, I know that I know that we talk a lot about, like Huff and Puff and stuff, but Huff and Puff is actually popular in the big spectrum of things. Huff and Puff is actually popular. Now, a lot of, us don't like it here. That's fine, to each their own, but Huff and Puff is very popular. So yes, they absolutely do listen to player feedback. And no, this is not pre-recorded. This is live. You're here watching this live. If you see the little red circle on the profile, it's live. How do I feel about Mystery of the Lamp? Mystery of the Lamp, I think, is a really good game. I think Mystery of the Lamp, I believe, was kind of underrated. Um, has some great bonus potential. It really does. Excellent bonus potential. Um, but no, I think Mystery of the Lamp is a really good game. All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. Let's do this. So let's put a 15-minute cap on this because we've gone about 2 hours now, which is I think I mean that is double the length of the time that we normally sit here and answer questions. So this is going to be 15-minute last call for questions. So go ahead and get those in. And really quickly, just as a reminder, if I missed your question, we've had hundreds of questions come in here, and it is just me. If I missed your question, please go post on our website, ropethejackpot.com. It's free to post on there. And again, there's so many resources on that website, guys. So many resources. And if you're a fellow YouTuber and you want to promote your channel, you can also do it on that website. So check it out. All right. So with that being said, let's see. Again, I'm losing my place. What's the difference between perceived progression and regular progression? They're going to be the same. So any kind of progression on a slot machine, always, if you are always ever curious about, if something on the screen really matters to the game, look in the game rules. The game rules will tell you. The game rules are written by the lawyers. They obviously put a lot of stuff in the fine print. Sometimes you go into those game rules, it's a giant word salad. It will tell you in the game rules, it'll almost always say, probably towards the end of the screen, very, very fine print, small at the bottom, it'll say the progression of pigs or coins or firecrackers or location of where the meter's at or something like that does not indicate that a bonus is any closer to hitting, or it'll say something along those lines. So always check the game rules if you're interested in that. But what's the difference between perceived and regular? They're both about the same. Do Indian casinos use RNGs as well? Yes, they do. Class 3 casinos, are run the exact same way. They have the same games. Some tribal casinos operate Class 2, which is a different form of randomness. And actually, Class 2 has higher regulations and stricter oversight than Class 3. So always keep that in mind. If you think that, going to a tribal casino, they're going to have, no oversight. That's very, very, very false. They actually have a lot more oversight and stricter oversight. I wonder if any slot advice on land casinos can apply to online casinos. Registered, legal, legitimate online casinos, yes, because the games. So here's the thing: when I say a registered and legal online casino, I'm talking about things like FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, MGM, all of those, which are legal. They're registered. They're legitimate. They follow state guidelines. The machines that are on those sites are going to perform exactly the same, if not maybe a little bit better than the machines in the land-based casino in which that jurisdiction resides. So for example, if you're in New Jersey, they're going to perform if you open up a game on say DraftKings. We'll just take DraftKings for example. If you open up a game on DraftKings and you play it, it's going to perform exactly the same as its physical counterpart in that jurisdiction that you're in. So New Jersey, for example, would perform exactly the same. The other advice is just again, watch your bankroll. You have to be more careful with your bankroll with online casinos because it's quicker and easier for you to lose your money and lose track of it quicker. So watch your bankroll. All right, let's see. When can we see you play Chickaboom again? I'm loving that slot. I haven't seen Chickaboom in a while. I hope it's still out there. That was a fun game. Let's see. Would you be interested in coming to any of the tribal casinos in Michigan? I'm always down to travel somewhere. If you have a casino that you are interested in having me come to, very very easy. The process is actually very easy. All you have to do go talk to the marketing manager, and you can suggest that we come out and have the marketing manager or somebody else from that casino reach out to us at info@ropethejackpot.com, and we can talk to them and get something worked out. So any casinos out there, if you guys wanted us to come out, give us a shout. Let's see. Now my question boxes are getting all uh, jumbled around here. Perceived progression has a larger pig pot, etc. To me, it means a lot has been dumped into that machine, so more closely to popping, I guess, is how it gets you. LOL. So the problem with that is you can literally do like we'll take the pigs for example. It could be a very very very. I'll move over here for the vertical stream. So it could be a very very tiny pig, and then you push the button once, and it just happens to expand up to full size. That progression does not matter. It doesn't progress at a same consistent rate. Some of them do, but not all of them. Let's see. It was great meeting you in Vegas last October. I live in Salt Lake. Always seem to miss you in Wendover. Are there better days than weekend to see you in Wendover? For Wendover, I'm typically only there on Tuesdays, Tuesday mornings. And again, check our website, ropethejackpot.com. I'm trying to cut down on that, but I'm stressing the importance of it. Check it out. Let's see. 499 super chat started a new security job at a casino and saw something suspicious. In my opinion, closing a blackjack table, all six decks were sorted out from the machine. That's not suspicious. Will sort out those decks. Standard protocol, standard procedure. All right, we got about 12 minutes to go till the end of the stream. 12 minutes. Last 12 minutes. Have I ever met Mr. Hampay from Wisconsin? I have not met him. I've talked to him a couple times though, but I haven't had the chance to meet him in person. Let's see. I was excited to play Autumn Moon yesterday. I played the lowest bet and got 3 moons on the second spin. Only won a few dollars, less than 4. Oh no. Autumn can be difficult. She really can be difficult. She's a difficult cookie to crack. Oh, which Buffalo series pays out the most in your opinion? So, in my opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of Buffalo. I never have been. But I will say this, despite all of the hype around the game, mathematically, it is actually pretty well designed, and that is the Buffalo Link. I will say Buffalo Link is pretty well designed. It still can be difficult, but it is a very, very well oiled machine. And I think that honestly, of all of them, that would Buffalo Link probably would pay out the most, in my opinion. Have I ever played House of the Dragon? No, I have not. I have not gotten a chance to play that one. Let's see. And yes, thank you, Richard, so much. Please do not forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button. Let's get us to 500,000 subscribers. We're right on that last little hump, guys. I think we only got like 20 some thousand more people to go. So we should be able to hit that soon. So if everybody hits that subscribe button, if everybody hit that subscribe button, we would be there yesterday. But all right. Does slow playing a bonus change the outcome of the payout? No, it doesn't. I mean, really doesn't change much. Will myself and Raja ever do another collab video in the near future? He's a really cool guy. We had a lot of fun doing our collab video. I think we will absolutely. He's another great guy. Like I said, everybody's really really nice. Um, Vegas low roller. Yes, I have. It's been a long time since I've seen Daniel, but yeah, we have met. It was at an event a couple years ago, I believe. But no, he's a really cool guy. Like I said, I like everybody. I like everybody. I think everybody's cool. That's why I said just go subscribe to everybody. Give everybody some support. In your opinion, should casinos post the RTP on all machines? Absolutely not. I think that would be a terrible idea. The reason being is because people do not understand long term math and statistics, and it would confuse people, and people would complain, and people wouldn't understand it. And we would spend more time trying to explain people what RTP meant, and it doesn't help you in the end. So, no, I don't think casinos should post the RTP on slot machines. It is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. Very good question. Do you notice players making the same mistake over and over? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. The biggest thing, of course, being bankroll management and playing games that are fitting for that bankroll. I see a lot of people all the time that, they have a small bankroll. They go into the casino and they start playing these really, really difficult games that are very, very rough at bets that are way too high for that bankroll and wonder why they lose. That is a big one. The other one is again the myths, guys. I'm telling you right now, and here's the thing, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier. I'm not getting paid by the casinos. I don't work for any casinos. I used to work for casinos. I'm just telling you how it is, but when we hear things that people say, well, I believe this and you're wrong. I'm like, you can just think whatever you want to think. I think whatever you want to, but you're going to have a better time at the casino if you just get all the myths out of your head and if you start thinking with logic and facts rather than mythical things that don't exist. So yeah, there's that too. The video slot community seems to be a very supportive community. They really are. I mean, they're like I said, I like everybody. I like everybody. Everybody's really nice. Everybody's cool. Support everybody. Why not? I watch so many different channels. Um, I've every day, and obviously I've got a lot of I've got a lot of friends that I've made doing this that also have slot channels, and um, like I said, everybody's great. We do need shirts that say "Don't worry about RDP." That would be awesome. Hey, if anybody has any design, hey, if you have a design idea, or if you have an idea, send it over to info@ropethejackpot.com. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see it. If you got an idea for a shirt or a product, I'd love to see it. Let's see. I thought Trump passed a new law that they have to post RTP. That's why I asked. Nope, nope, that's not a thing. Not included. Not that I'm aware of. I have not. I have not seen or heard of that at all. And if it did pass, it would have already been posted, so we would have already known about it. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. How often should you use your player's card? All the time. That's how you get free stuff. Um, Here's the thing, guys. You know, with your player's card, the way that I describe this is if you go into a casino and you don't use your player's card, that's like you going to a store, walking in, paying for an item, and then leaving it there and walking out without that item. You're just leaving free stuff or stuff that you should be getting a reward back for on the table. That's how you earn your free play. That's how you earn your free rooms. You know what? If you go into the casino and you happen to lose your money, at least get a free meal out of it. Why would you not use your player's card? So that's the thing. It's use your player's card. That's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Are you still doing the government job? Yes, I am. I am still. If for those of you out there that don't know, I was elected into office and I have my chair for the next, well, we're in February now. So 3 years, 3 years, 11 months to go, in my seat. And I might actually try to go for gaming commissioner. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. And yes, those free cruises with your card. Absolutely. And yes, great for tax purposes. A lot of support for the player's card, which is good. You definitely need to use your player's card. Carol says, why would somebody not use their player's card? There's a big myth out there. Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to give you some tech insight again. There is a big myth out there that the machines, the player's card can, manipulate the game in some way, shape, or form. That is not true. The logic portion of a slot machine is not connected to the player tracking portion, which is your player's card. Those two systems are not connected. It can't control the game. So you don't have to worry about that, but some people just feel very strongly about it. And there is a giant myth about it. But yes, that is the truth. If you want to believe it, you can believe it. If you don't, you know what? That's on you. Lose your benefits. How do you go about getting permission from the casinos for recording? It's actually very simple and very easy. So if you do want to record your play in the casino, and most casinos are okay with it, some casinos have different rules. So there's some casinos out there you have to fill out a form or you have to read something. There's usually guidelines, something like that. Other casinos are a lot more friendly, filming friendly. So I know a lot of people have brought this up and they've asked, they're said, well, for example, why do all of the slot creators go to the El Cortez? It's because the El Cortez has a open and very friendly filming policy. They turn the music down. They, let you film. They'll let you film table games if you have permission. But they'll let anybody film slots. So it's very open. It's very friendly. They're very, very influencer friendly there. Some casinos are not. Some casinos are very limiting on what influencers are allowed to do. Some casinos don't allow filming at all. So I know the topic I've seen come up on the interweebs quite a few times is like, why is everybody always at the El Cortez or at the Peppermill in Reno? It's because they're influencer friendly. They allow filming. They turn the music down. They do. They allow us to come in. So yes, that's why. All right. What do you foresee AI's effect will be on slot gaming? Honestly, I don't think AI is really going to play a role in the physical casino aspects from the player side. I could see AI kind of there's been some systems that they've been working on that have not been implemented at all anywhere that are actually pretty good and pretty positive in respects to helping to curb problem gambling. So I know that there's been kind of some work being done on some AI systems where if somebody is basically like if an algorithm detects like, hey, like this person is starting to drain their bank account and they're like dumping a lot more money into the machine than they normally would, or that an average person would. It might, bring up a message or something and be like, hey, we're concerned about you, kind of thing. I've seen there's been talks of systems like that, but as for affecting like actual game performance, gameplay, I don't think AI is going to have any role in that whatsoever. But I do think that AI will have some hand in probably back end systems, accounting systems, so on and so forth. So great question though. Oh, let's see here. All right. Take a couple more questions. We're right at time, so we'll take a couple more questions here. Here's a common one. Can you take vouchers from the machines that people leave behind? Be very, very, very careful with that, guys. There's a lot of people out there that they think, oh well, it's just abandoned money. I will just take it. One of the casinos that I worked for back in the day, um, if you were caught doing that, they'd call the police on you. That's theft. You'd go to jail. So careful with that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. What does happen to those tickets? I will add that. So what does happen to those tickets? The casinos, most all casinos will take those tickets and they actually donate those to charity. So, if you see like, oh, somebody left like 25 cents in the machine and you're like, oh, I'm going to take this 25 cents, you're essentially stealing from a charity. How does that make you feel? Probably not very good. So yeah, do just careful with that. Some casinos are different though. Just be careful. And yes, DraftKings does send those messages. That's one thing I will say this. I do like how I use DraftKings myself for the sports betting side. I do like how DraftKings does have responsible gambling built in. They actually, if you are new to the DraftKings app at all, they actually have like this whole section on responsible gambling, and it's really nice because you can actually set budgets and limits before you even get started. That was a very, very smart, very, very good thing for them to do. So, hats off to DraftKings. Anyway, guys, it has been over 2 hours, and we have been doing this live Q&A session. I hope that you all have enjoyed it. Please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with a friend. We have a lot more new stuff that's getting ready to come out. And again, I'm gonna do this one more time. Put this website up there, ropethejackpot.com. If you haven't heard it enough, check it out. A lot of good information on there. So many free resources, free chat room. Everything on that website is available for you guys to use. So please do utilize it. Thank you guys so much for all the support, all the love. Keep those comments rolling in on our website, on our chat room. Again, next Tuesday, so just some travel updates. Next week on Tuesday, I will be in Wendover. So if you are in the Salt Lake area, want to come over to Wendover, I'm there in the morning. For February 20th, I will be in Tampa. So I will be at the Hard Rock Tampa. So come out and celebrate with us, Hard Rock Tampa. And then after that is the Vegas Mat Cruise, and the schedule on the website should be updating within the next couple of weeks for March. So be sure to check that out. And again, that website updates every single day. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. Have an amazing rest of your night. Remember to play smart, play responsibly, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.